I'm really pleased to be here this morning with Lesley Writtle. Lesley is the Chief Executive of the NHS Primary Partnership Trust in the Black Country.
Yes.
And Lesley's just done a bit of a keynote at the Interfaith conference. Could you just tell us what the main points you wanted to get across to our audience this morning were in your keynote?
I think the main things is how many people are actually touched by mental health. I think we've heard some really significant statistics this morning, and I guess the one that sticks out is 1 in 4 people in their lifetime will be affected by a mental health issue.
And what are your sort of feelings on the development of this parity of esteem for mental versus physical health happening in the NHS?
It's really, really important. I think that we do a really good job in the NHS, and if we look back over the history of its development, we really focused on physical ill health. We do a good job in mental health, but it doesn't have the same equality in terms of people's understanding, access to services. So I think parity of esteem is really important. If somebody arrives at A&E with a broken leg, it should be the same treatment if somebody arrives and they've got a mental health crisis. It shouldn't be any different.
And what I really liked about your keynote is that you kept it positive. You were looking at the positives. We know we've got these sometimes frightening and very concerning statistics about mental health, but that you were looking forward. You were talking about the forthcoming 10-year plan. And you're also talking about the positives of religious community and being a member of a faith community for mental health. Could you just sort of explain a little bit more about how faith can support someone's mental health?
What we know when we meet people that have a mental health issue is that it quite often is linked to you may have challenging issues in your life. You may be out of work, you may be homeless, you may have a number of complicated problems. You could be in a very stressful job at work. But what we know is if that people find a way to be able to talk about their problems, it does help. I think faith and spirituality plays a really important role because it's another route into being able to talk to somebody. We know that mental health still has a stigma in society, and I think that any way that you can facilitate somebody else be able to say, actually I am struggling, I do need help, then we should encourage that. So I think faith and spirituality groups play a really strong part because people should feel in their community, in their religious community, that there is no stigma about talking about mental ill health.
And mental health in young people is obviously Head Start's objectives within the city. That's where we're working. What do you think we've learned about supporting the mental health of young people?
I think we've heard some absolutely astounding statistics today about the number of young people that are suffering with mental ill health issues, and I think that if we don't start to support young people earlier enough, we know that their mental health issues could turn into a long-standing problem. So I think it's about acting quickly, acting earlier. But the thing I've learned today is, well, not the thing I've learned today is that collectively, if we work together, we're more powerful. We've got to work together in a more joined-up way.
So if we can create structures around young people, working with schools, working in community settings, working with parents and families, then that's the way that we can hopefully improve the situation for young people. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Lesley.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, and thanks for your keynote this morning. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.